continue today with our ongoing interviews of our regional doctors studying various projects through the Vasculitis Foundation and our different grants. Today, my guest is Dr. Mark Gorelik. He's out of San Antonio, Texas, currently with the Texas Biomedical Research Institute and currently studying the Kawasaki disease through a grant with the Vasculitis Foundation. So, Dr. Gorelik, thank you so much for joining us today. First off, let's just talk about your study and overall what you're trying to find out with it.
So this study is, we're looking at the role of a particular protein, which is called follistatin-like 1 protein, and how this protein creates blood vessel inflammation in Kawasaki disease. So just to give a bit of background, so Kawasaki disease is a kind of a vasculitis, or inflammation of the blood vessels, and it's specifically a childhood vasculitis, which affects the blood vessels that supply the heart. When kids get this, about 80% of them recover from this there's an acute phase of this disease without subsequent heart damage or heart vessel damage, but about 20% of these patients develop damage to their blood vessels. And despite the current treatment, a quarter of these 20% of patients will have lifelong persistent damage. And so this is what we're trying to fix. And so in order to see if this protein is actually playing a direct role in these inflammation, I collaborated with another leader in the field. His name is Moshe Arditi, and his lab has been the kind of leader in the mouse model of Kawasaki disease. So, sometimes to study these diseases, we need to put them in an animal. And Dr. Arditi's lab has been doing this for several years, and he's been responsible also for some really important breakthroughs and found that the molecule interleukin-1 plays a key role in Kawasaki disease. And so what Dr. Arditi helped me to do is I got some hands-on training to learn how to create this mouse model. And so what we're trying to do now with the sort of the collaboration of Dr. Hirsch and Dr. Arditi is look at how we can see whether knocking out or taking out this follistatin-like 1 protein can attenuate or improve the disease in a mouse. And then if we do see some improvement there, then we can kind of take that to the human stage.
And what do you hope will be the overall impact that this study, if it basically matches what you're possibly expecting to find, would have in terms of an impact on these kids that have the disease?
So when children get this disease, a proportion of them just get this permanent heart damage. And so the impact that we're really hoping is a couple of things. One is for patients who, when they get Kawasaki disease initially, are resistant to current therapies. We're hoping that a therapy which knocks out this protein could perhaps help to act as a salvage therapy for those kinds of patients, to also act in the long term. So, patients who have no benefit from initial treatments still have long-term damage, and there's some data that suggests that the blood vessel damage in Kawasaki's is not just an acute phenomenon, but it's really a chronic phenomenon. And so hopefully turning off that chronic phenomenon may actually help more of these aneurysms disappear over time. So the impact is that when patients get Kawasaki disease, when kids get Kawasaki disease, the patients who don't respond to therapy or have very bad disease are on lifelong medications and have to have a lot of precautions because they're in danger of having an acute heart attack or problems with their heart. And so being able to help these patients hopefully come off those medications and live a healthy, normal life is the goal.